Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, his life's purpose is not to be weird. It's Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, bud.
That quote is a little nugget from Masters of the Universe, which came out over the weekend. And of course, because we are products of the 80s in some regard, we will definitely talk about that film in some good length, I guess. You know, there's a lot to say, especially between the fact that I, recently was on a podcast, the Pint Pop Culture Podcast, doing the 1987 version, and there's a lot of callbacks. There's a lot of like compare and contrast that we could do with that. So we'll talk all about that coming up. We're also just gonna kind of toss in some little straight thoughts on some things that are still kind of lingering in theaters. I know Shane, listen, this weekend was very weird. Scary Movie won the weekend, took in $54 million at the domestic box office, which is all of what Masters of the Universe made worldwide.
Yeah.
So not good news for Masters of the Universe in that, but we'll get to the rest of it where that might have some legs and some change, and we'll talk about that. But Backrooms, Obsession almost made as much domestically over the weekend as Masters of the Universe did as well, which is an insane thing. You have, a teenager around that age kind of thing. Any news on Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act? Is that something that she's asking for, or is that like even in the purview here?
That's nothing in my purview right now. I've never heard of that, and she has not mentioned that. I'm not going to bring it up.
Because again, I believe that was like a YouTube,
yes,
or some kind of crossover success, and this is the movie, and that made $12 million.
Oh my god!
Which is nuts, absolutely nuts. That if you told me some YouTube animated thing that, quite frankly, when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks like, like 20 years ago animation to it, and I hear it's really weird, and people like it. So that came in at number 5. Star Wars Mandalorian Grogu is at 6 already, and that's dwindling, still losing 60% of its audience, and not up to the numbers that they were hoping for. They're probably about halfway to what some estimators had, where I think it's in the 300 something,
293, I think is what you said.
Yeah, so almost 300. So that's rough. When they were thinking, could this make 600 or 700?
No,
that's not happening. You got Michael, Breadwinner, Pressure, Devil Wears Prada 2 still kicking, Sheep Detectives, Power Ballad, which was a new release ish, had like only half the screens. That made 1.3 million, which is not enough. And then Tuner came in at number 13, and we will get to that movie soon enough as well, because you and I, that is going to be a fun conversation, because it's a movie we love and we want people to see it, but we think it's too late.
Yep, already.
Because it's basically,
it's already,
it's at 500 theaters right now, and that is not a good sign. But let's kind of talk this out, Shane. So Scary Movie won the weekend. I saw this. It is, you could feel in the theater like a certain thing of like people wanted this back. Like there was a fervor for it. There was, they wanted a certain type of humor. They like seeing a lot of like the characters coming back. Your Anna Faris, your Regina Hall, the Wayans, and all that. So and even like stuff like Chris Elliott, popping back up, and it was really kind of how they almost treated the Scream movies in a way, where it's like, let's get all the, let's get Officer Doofy back, and let's get Sherry O'Terry back, and all this other stuff. Everybody's seen back, so it was kind of like a real reunion story of sorts. And of course they had a lot of fresh new movies in the horror genre to talk about. And I think the best stuff that worked was the stuff that the better the movie was that they were parodying, the better the jokes were. So like the Sinners stuff was very funny. The Get Out stuff was funny. There was a bunch of, pretty solid. There was a weapons joke that was in there where, people getting high and doing the weapons, walk out into the street like the kids did at a certain hour. It was funny. So like there's a bunch of stuff that works in there. There's a ton that do not. Absolutely does not. And so I think it's still barely treading water, these movies. Like it's probably a 2.5 or whatever. Just like, yes, it was fine, but I'm not gonna recommend it to anybody. But if you watch all the other ones, you're probably going to see it anyway. So what do you care what I think? But there is, there's enough good new and updated jokes. And Regina Hall is excellent. She's incredible in all of these. And I think this one in particular, she stood out because she's just light years better in terms of acting than everybody else. And she's just so fun. I love that character. So that's probably where I stand on that. But Masters of the Universe is the one that we kind of circled. A few things. One, how do you feel about the box office here? Do you think like, oh boy, like, or is this what you expected to have?
I did not expect this, to be honest with you. Okay. I wasn't
more or
sure.
Less?
Yeah, it was less than I thought, to be honest with you. Because again, maybe it's because it's an 80s product and it's of our generation.
Yes.
And I didn't know what to expect. But when I saw the box office at the end of the weekend, I was like, oh my God. Because this movie to me exceeded my expectations. Like it was so much fun. It was fun. It was funny. It kind of knew what it wanted to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I love the lead actor in this role. Yeah, we'll talk about Nicholas Galtzine.
Yeah, Galitzine.
Yeah. He was great. It was you know what it reminded me of? Flash Gordon in a lot of ways.
Well, there's a lot of that because the Darkness doing the soundtrack, it sounds a lot like the Queen vibes of within Flash Gordon. So I did have a lot of that. And I think that's purposeful.
Yes. And I thought it was great. I thought Skeletor and Jared Leto like stole the show. I thought he was hilarious. I had a really good time with this movie. It like, again, it just like blew me away when I wasn't expecting it. So,
right.
After I got done, my son loved it too. And I was like, okay, this movie should do well. And when I saw the box office, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't understand.
Well, what's crazier is I went to the Wednesday night early access and it was full as hell. And I was like, oh, this is good news for what the weekend will hold. And yeah, not as much. Although, here's what I'll say to that, Shane. Yes, you're right. I think because this is an 80s product. It had some resurgence with the Netflix stuff, especially if they wanted to tie in She-Ra. We'll get that into in a moment. But, for what it is, I thought because the early trailers looked terrible, I thought.
Correct.
And I didn't know what it was trying to do. And I think that a lot of people felt that way. But I think what helped late, and probably too late, is that those early reviews that started to come out where they're like, this is a blockbuster that you're just going to have fun with. And then the commercials started to get more zippier and fun. And I was just like, maybe this has a chance. And I will say the response in the room, there was like ovations like in the room. So that was definitely encouraging to see. And that's why I think I'm looking at this box office. I think people didn't know what to do with it just yet, besides the nostalgia factor. They were hesitant, and it's not like the 87 one has some like major legacy or something, besides maybe to me, because it was the first movie I ever saw in theaters. But outside of that and your love for Dolph Lundgren, which we'll get to that too, the story I think is 3.2 Letterboxd, 7.2 IMDb. And I think that this could have a little bit of extra life. Like it might lose less than what we think going week to week. But again, this is the summertime, so you're going to have a bunch of competition here. So that's where I think things might... they have to keep it in theaters long enough, I guess, I'm hoping there's a resurgence at some point, especially maybe like get to 4th of July where it's very light and just see where the cards lie.
I would hope so, because this movie is worth seeing. It's the definition of a summer blockbuster, to be honest with you. Like, I
Sure.
was just so enthralled with this, and I loved the Dolph Lundgren wink wink cameo.
Of course you did.
You know,
when he said "Good journey," I was like, "My man."
Yep. Yep. And some of the jokes just kept hitting with me, like the Fisto jokes just kept landing with me. Yeah. Even though I saw it coming, and they like just hit you over the head with those jokes, I laughed every single time. Like, I just thought it was great. Like, he fists people. Like, I just fucking loved it. I love this movie. It was so fun. Like, I'm disappointed, but I hope it has legs. I just don't think it will.
So again, like I said, it has to be word of mouth from people like you and people who saw this to be like, no, it's not that bad. And then look at their ratings and then have like a day where they can just, once the summer truly hits, which, kids are going to be out of school in a week around here in the Northeast anyway. And I think that you might start to see things start to tick up.
What do you think about the lead though, Nicholas? I thought he was great, man. I thought it was almost like, I think he played his part really well, and it reminded me of like not only Flash Gordon but Deadpool in a lot of ways. Like,
it's not as funny, obviously.
It's not as funny, crass, but I thought he
made sense.
Yeah, I thought he did the whole wink, wink. I'm not that serious in this movie kind of really well.
Well, here, let me give you the zoomed out view here, because I think it'll tell you everything what I think about the movie, and certain characters will lock into place here. I think Travis Knight here as the director, a guy who's known for doing, stuff like Bumblebee and Minions and things like that. I think this movie is too long, especially because it ended like multiple times, but I think it's tonally messy. And I don't think that means that it's not fun to enjoy. I do think it is fun to enjoy. But I think the tonal shift that they do constantly in here is kind of how I perceive He-Man and Skeletor 2, where, they keep going back and forth between super serious and almost memifying the characters, like bringing them into like what they think about it now. I thought the early tone when they were on Earth, like that was a lot of fun. When you get into there, he has to go through like the hero's journey stuff. But in the middle of it, it's like you're doing the 4 non-blondes joke. You're doing, Jared Leto's Skeletor is going back and forth between like, I have to be a badass villain, and oh, by the way, I'm a joke, and I don't know what I'm doing, and but then he does know what he's doing, and then it goes back and forth to where, say what you will about the 87 one, Frank Langella is like Shakespearean. He's dark. He's consistent. I love that performance for that. I think is the best part of that movie. But this is where this movie is like grabbing everything. It's like, hey, this is made by Mattel. Remember 87, how we couldn't get any of the characters you wanted to see? Here's Trapjaw right up front. Let's get you Mechanic in here. Let's get you Ram Man. Let's get you all these people that you're like, oh, awesome. But then also, hey, did you like the 87 thing? Here's Dolph Lundgren. Here's a guy who's trying to pull off Karg, even though he looks less of a Long Island medium Teresa Caputo clone in this one. Hey, remember how we couldn't even have a budget to shoot the ending in 87? Here's Battle Cat. You wanted Battle Cat, didn't you? You wanted Kringer. You wanted all that. And then fucking Orzo shows up too. And you go, all right, no more Gweldor here. We're going straight Orzo. We are going back in. So I think there's a lot of stuff to like in all the aspects. And I said to you before Masters of the Universe came out that I said, I think the upshot of this is if it's as fun and adventuresome as Dungeons and Dragons, the last one, the Thieves one.
Yeah.
And I think it comes close.
Yeah.
It's not as, again, I don't think it's as tonally consistent. It's longer and it drags a little bit, but I think in spirit, it is very much akin to that movie, which got, again, good reviews or at least positive responses from audiences.
It is draggy in some points. I'll admit that. But damn, I loved the Skeletor performance because, again, like you said, it's not like the original 87 version, but I do like he was a joke. Like he kind of like joked on himself the whole time. And I got it and I loved it. Like I loved the look, the aesthetic. I liked his play with himself. So
right.
I was into all that. And I love, we both love Idris Elba and his Man at Arms probably had the most complete story arc as far as the character goes.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And Camilla Mendes, by extension, by the way, who was, I thought, stood out.
Yeah.
I thought she was a knockout. The outfit worked. She was strong.
Dude, and I've seen her.
Take my eyes off her.
I've seen her in, what's that CW show?
I was going to say Do Revenge. I thought you liked Do Revenge.
I do like Do Revenge, but she's also in, oh my God, the Archie and,
Riverdale?
Yeah, she was Riverdale. Yeah. That's where I know her from, is Riverdale.
Yeah, I think that's how she got a bunch of Netflix stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I thought she was great. Again, I don't know. I took it for what it was. It was long, but I enjoyed the journey and I liked the play they did with this kind of movie. So,
right.
I honestly, I walked out and you're going to laugh. So don't laugh at me. I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
That's high. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
But again, I get it, man. Like I get the vibes. I'm probably giving it a strong 3.
Okay.
I think that where it is for a Letterboxd, where it's at 3.2, I'm like, sure. Yes. I have no complaints with that number. But yeah, it is one of those things that here's what I'll give it a good compliment on top of anything I've said thus far. It is a movie that should be only for the heads in a way, like all the people who either know all the inside jokes, the characters, the legacy, the whole thing. Right. However, I went with somebody who knew none of it, absolutely none of it. And she didn't hate it. So I would say that's a bonus for like, here's this weird fantasy world. And she was, engaging with certain things and clearly the lead here is also when he gets into full tanned, ripped, full costume mode is a bonus to the opposite sex or people who find him attractive. That's huge too.
I will say this too, because like you just said, I saw it with my son who knows nothing in the 80s, nothing. Right. So he went into it kind of blind.
Right.
And he was like, Dad, that was pretty awesome. I'm like, yeah. So like,
I think it is geared towards like a younger, like it's the heads and then like 12-year-olds.
Yes. And that fit right into where we were. So
yeah.
I walked out. He gave it a 4. I gave it a 4. We high-fived. We had a good father-son moment. Like it was.
See, I think that helps. I think if you see the reaction of a young child, you'd be like, oh, I will also say this movie ends well.
Yes.
Because I think once you get back to where it focuses up to like, we need to get this from Skeletor, we need to go like fight get Grayskull back, the whole 9. And shout out to Marina Baccarin from Firefly and all that stuff. Holy hell, look great as a sorceress. I think once it focused itself up and really went towards the end, I think that was good. And I like that, in a way, it's also a callback to have Skeletor and He-Man battle it out in like not a complete sword and sandal thing here, but like pretty close, which I think the action was all very good leading into that. So I enjoyed it. The only thing I thought was, I thought she looked the part, but Alison Brie, I thought was a little off. I don't know. I wanted her to be a little more intense, but she has that voice, and I'm like, that doesn't work.
Yep.
So I think that's what threw me off with that. But I think that, again, that's nitpicky, but I had fun, and I think people will have fun, especially if you have some resonance with the franchise.
Yep.
Right? So, all right, tell me straight, the Dolph thing, how much did you just
I loved it, dude.
peek out?
I was geeking out because it was so tongue in cheek. And he's like, he's passing the torch, and like the kid took it.
Yep.
And it was so freaking good. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. And also, I guess, spoiler alert if you want to push ahead, but the extra scene here where they're like, hey, we'll just show you a hint of She-Ra to kind of be like, you know, we'll see if we can add this into the universe if we get a part 2, I guess.
I would love it. I would so love it. But golly, the way this is tracking box office wise, I don't see it.
So, memory serves. Is this Amazon, right?
Yes. Yep.
So that's where I go, it might. Because I think for what the strategy was with, like, say, something like Red One, where it's like, we'll get the box office to absorb and then we need stuff for our streaming arm. It might work.
Maybe.
But they also just made money on Project Hail Mary too, so maybe it balances out at the end of the day and they take another stab because the not the critical, but like the audience response was positive. I still want to see where this goes. Give it a month, see where the box office is, and then, because I know the production budget was high.
Yes. I would love to see it continue. Like, I am so happy with where it's at. I want to see it continue, but like you said, we'll see where it falls in like a month or so.
Yeah, and especially now we'd probably be fully Eternia.
Yeah.
At this point too.
Yep.
So it might make it easier, or I don't know if it's more expensive because they got to do the whole universe stuff, but you know, we'll see. I don't write the check, Shane. I just know what I want, and I think we're on the same page there, which is nice. Before we get out of here, I do want to hear, you went and saw Backrooms again, and this time you took your daughter and she loved it more, which, you know, really digs into the heels of your okay thoughts of it to start with at best. So did you get enlightened in any way? Is there something that she said that kind of clicked in more? Is there better on the second view? Any of those things?
Nothing. I got nothing on a second view.
Yes.
I got nothing. And Andrew, I tried. I locked in and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll pick up on Ichifuru's character. Maybe I'll dive into like what the shrinks thing is. And it just didn't. And my daughter loved it. She gave it a 4 out of 5. And when she got done, she's like, Dad, you just don't understand what the Backrooms is about. I'm like, yeah, okay. I guess I don't. After my second viewing and like trying to understand what happened, I just couldn't get it. And I reflect to our initial thoughts were like the whole scene with the camera crew and his assistant was like the highlight of the movie. Once that happened, it was all downhill. And I told my daughter, like, this movie was boring until the therapist entered the back rooms. Once Mary got into the back room, that's where it picked up. And I was like, if the movie was more of this, then I would have been happier with it. I just didn't get it. But she loved every second of this goddamn movie. And I just
But you said she had the relationship with the YouTube
She did.
stuff.
And I wanted to punch her right in her face when she said I gave it a 4 out of 5. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. But no, that's the great thing about seeing movies with your kids or other people, because, you know, we have these debates and we can talk about it. And we definitely fleshed it out. It's just like she stood at the one point and I'm like, I can't get there. As much as I want to get there, I just can't. I can't get it past the 2.5.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's good to know that, you know, you saw it right the first time. You got, you know, all the information back in, it reinforced your thoughts. Like, that's a good feeling too. Real quick, I saw this, and then we'll get to Tuner because I definitely want to end on that. Obsession. I saw a fun fact because it's now taken over. There's stuff everywhere, right? I love it, including a meme thing that I saw where it showed the Kool-Aid man going through the walls, where it's like, "Ha, you try to stop me by having all these restrictive walls and rooms? I'll just run through the walls." I loved it. But I saw a fun fact because I am a Wayne's World head. I don't know if you are too.
Yep.
Do you remember the scene where he's obsessing about that certain guitar? And he plays Stairway and they say no stairway, signs everywhere or whatever. That is the same store as the one in Obsession.
Are you serious?
I saw that meme. I have not researched enough. I take the internet for its word, but if that's true, I love it.
Oh my God. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. They did like a whole side by side. I was like, oh shit. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So I found that made me smile, at least to add a little bit extra to the obsession that is out there, where, again, it had another amazing week and it just keeps climbing and climbing.
Go see it, people.
Yeah, it's worth watching. Another movie worth watching, though, Shane, and I say that with complete tongue-in-cheek, is like, or basically I'm underselling it. Tuner is amazing, people. This movie, I said to you, I am still probably having an internal battle between that and Project Hail Mary for my favorite movie of the year. And unfortunately, I believe it's only in the $4 million range as far as box office at this point. But this is Daniel Rohrer, I believe, is the director here. Yeah, which, again, such a bizarre story to be coming out of a documentary filmmaker to make this movie, where he made Navalny, which I really liked. And that went, he's Oscar nominated in the category, the whole thing. So I thought that was incredible. But for anybody who hasn't seen the trailer or didn't see the movie, this is about a talented piano tuner's life is turned upside down when he discovers that his meticulous skills for tuning pianos can equally be applied to cracking safes. And he's in a house one time where he's doing a job by himself. Normally he's with Dustin Hoffman, who's this kind of, fatherly character to him. It's not his dad, but he knows his dad. It's like this really messed up situation. And, when he falls ill, this character, Lee Woodall's character, Nikki White, Leo Woodall's character, ends up, stumbling where he's late doing a tuning and then hears people trying to crack into his safe. This is all in the trailer, so I'm not messing up anything for anybody. But then he ends up helping them out because he has this condition to where he has like super sonic hearing, basically, where he's wearing headphones all the time, can't hear environmental noise. If some loud noise like an ambulance or something goes off, like he's losing his mind. It disorients him. It completely takes him out. But seeing him go back and forth between to me, I had an early word for this, Shane. I wonder if you can feel it with me. Elegant.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was perfectly paced. It was topical. It was emotional. It was suspenseful. And I thought the performances were pitch perfect, to where the harmony of all these things between being a crime thriller, a pseudo family drama, a relationship drama, and like about uber talented people, I thought was such a perfect blend that I just was enthralled all the way through. And I loved so many people in this movie. And I feel so bad that this is such a hidden gem now, but I want to scream from the rafters. This might be the best movie of the year from me.
This is the best movie of the year for me, period. Slam dunk, no doubt. And I feel awful because I have been championing this movie since I saw it a couple weeks ago.
Same.
And I had a couple people who went to try to see it, and it wasn't in theaters anymore this weekend. And I'm like, God damn it. Like,
summer's so hard. It was put in such a tough spot.
It was. I left this movie, and I think I told you, I had the same feeling when I left Relay.
Yes.
But I liked this more than
I
Relay.
do too.
I do.
Yeah.
I was trying to poke holes in this movie. I'm like, what can I nitpick about it? I can't. Like, Leo Woodall's performance was fantastic. Dustin Hoffman gave the levity, the the comedy, but just the gravitas of his performance. It was, like you said, it was a romantic comedy, it was a drama, it was a bunch of different genres mixed into one. When
Yeah.
he got into that crew, I thought the crew was funny as hell. Like, I loved that crew.
With the
especially
dog and
Yes.
all the goofballness of it. Yeah.
I thought it was great, and
And that's seeing the drug dealer's house.
Ah.
Holy shit.
yes, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting here thinking the whole time, I'm like, he better play the piano, like, he better play, like, he better play, he better
Yeah.
play. And
Yeah.
he finally did at the end, and I was almost brought to tears, to be honest with you. Like, I was so emotional with this movie.
Yeah.
It is so criminally underrated that I just feel bad. It is, and I'll be honest with you. I went back and looked. It is my only 5 I've got this year.
Mm.
And this is by far the best movie I've seen all year.
I think one of the things I said to you early on was how much I was in love with the relationship between Leo Woodall and Havana Rose Liu.
Yeah.
And especially like I think I've only seen her in No Exit, which I told you, like that movie that was kind of like a streaming
Yes.
thriller at a rest stop thing that she was the lead of. She's been in a bunch of other things. Lurker was like a indie hit of sorts, went over well with people, and unfortunately she did that AI movie Afraid, but she wasn't like the prominent piece there. But she's been in a lot of things. She was in Bottoms,
Ugh.
which we won't hold that against her, but
No.
she is incredible, and I really liked her in this movie, and I really liked her together with Leo Woodall, and everything works like between his pseudo parental figures, the romance
Oh.
thing, everything works. There's no like, oh well, if this aspect was better, then it's a 5-star banger or whatever. Absolutely not. Everything works. It's tight as a drum. The piano playing is actually very impressive. I love all the aspects when he says like to bring these extra pieces in, and then they show the composition and everything else. So if you love that stuff, it's really well done. The score is good by relation because they're kind of cross-cutting between what's going on with the compositions that they're doing for the actual piece that she's preparing, and then also what's going on between the scenes. I was so impressed,
Dude.
So is this a 5-star banger for you?
It's a 5-star. It's my only 5-star of the year. Like I
think
said,
I have to.
The relationship between him and Dustin Hoffman was so funny, and just probably the best parts in the movie was the whole like montage of them going through their day to day was so freaking good. Like, it was
because
so good.
The energy, right,
Yes.
between Leo Woodall's kind of like sullen, not standoffish, but kind of just workmanlike thing, because he's trying to he's so broken from having his affliction and having a gift that he can't use and everything else, and he wears it on himself all the time. And then Hoffman's just nonstop babble, crazy old man stuff is perfect.
It's so
as
perfect. It's so perfect. And like his relationship with her, like you said, like that whole scene where he's like, he finally loses it, and he's like, I'm better than you ever were going to be. Like, that whole scene just like was like, oh my God, that is like so great. And like his relationship with those thief crackers or safe crackers.
Yeah.
Like, I thought at the end he stabbed them in his eardrum. I don't know if you got that, but I thought that's what he did.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Or at least because he blew it out that it was going to be permanent damage and all these other things. Sure.
Right. And we got the Jean Russo appearance at the end where they were
Jean Reno, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, Jean Reno.
Yeah.
Where they tie the whole watch storyline, which I didn't think that would come.
Holocaust watch.
Yeah, which I didn't think would come back, but it was so perfect in this movie.
Once he gave it to her, I did kind of go, this has to come back. But yes.
I didn't think about it. I honestly didn't, but I'm so glad it went where it went.
Yeah.
And goddamn, man, this movie is just it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm glad we were able to talk about it before we get on out of here. If it's available. I would assume based on its box office, it'll probably be available to rent soon.
Yeah.
We can't recommend it enough. This is one that you have to see. And I'm sure it'll translate well at home enough. But
Yeah.
I mean, there is something. I was very happy that I saw it in theaters because of all the strong music in here and the kind of whiz bang, perfect editing, perfect balance that it does. I think that it just caters so well to the theatrical experience. But if you have a good enough setup at home, if you're enthralled and locked in, I think this will still do well. Just like Relay did, where we're like, yes, it'll be better in the theater experience. But I know a lot of people who watched it when it blew up on Netflix a little bit, and they were like, oh my God, this movie is so great.
Yep.
Excellent, man. So this week is a perfect blend of our personalities, I think, and we're looking forward to both big hitters this weekend. We have Disclosure Day, so Papa Spielberg is in the house, so hopefully that is as good as some of the early reviews are kind of saying. I'm really looking forward to seeing whether it has the ties to Close Encounters and where we're going to go from there. So that comes out this weekend. And then, of course, The Furious, which is this movie that, man, if you've seen the trailer, you're just like, man, put it in my veins. It has that definite, the Raid Tentacles vibe. You mentioned like The Night Comes for Us and all that, these kind of high action, whipping around karate stuff, but like gun fu and everything. Like it matches a lot of those like Gareth Evans movies, and I'm just looking forward to all of that because it looks sick. And the reviews are good.
My pants are tight.
Yeah. And again, like these are these type of movies that I hope if you guys listen to this podcast and it's out there, like see these in a theater because you will be kicking yourself or getting kicked in the face. This movie is very intense. You need to see this out in the theaters. You need to see this on the big screen, get the full experience. Shane, I also wanted to ask you because it seems like it became a big topic of conversation. Did you get your Odyssey tickets or have any issues? Did you try to make that attempt? Because I heard people got like they blew up the cinema apps.
I have not tried to get my tickets. That I never get tickets that early. But
yeah, it's fair.
I am really looking forward to this goddamn movie.
Yeah. The IMAX ones you can imagine just completely blew out. So yeah, I'm hoping there are no issues and I can still get in. I did not buy my tickets because again, there were some issues, but yeah, I will be kicking myself if I get locked out on that day. So definitely looking forward to that as well, but be sure to like, subscribe, tell a friend, look for us on social media at Recent Act Pod. And obviously, you're not going to want to miss any of what we have to say about not only the movies that are coming out this weekend that we're looking forward to, but things coming out all summer long, these huge blockbusters that we're looking forward to. So thank you for tuning in and be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.